Go, Papa! Alright guys, this week I had to remove a little kitten's hip. But again, for good reason. And in this video, I will try to explain you guys exactly why we would do something crazy like that. Hi guys, and welcome to this week's definitely way too cute to be true kitten's case. This poor fella was brought to us after it had been diagnosed with a hip fracture in another clinic and was referred for surgery. Hey, who's gonna have surgery? Is that gonna be you? Yeah. We're gonna have our hip removed. Sounds a bit crazy, but it's gonna work. Do you feel the medicine working? Here on the X-ray you can see where the cat actually broke its hip. And we're going to remove this entire ball of the ball and socket joint to create a disconnect from the leg to the hip. And this will make sure that we don't have any bone grinding against bone. When the body tries to heal these type of fractures, there is a lot of calcifications that go on, and this causes the whole joint to become very stiff and painful. The cat would over time not be able to use the leg properly anymore because the body would continue to try and stabilize the fracture by putting more and more bone into the joint. And for us to avoid this from happening, we're going to remove that entire ball of the ball and socket joint and allow the muscles to take over the joint function. It's a common procedure that works really well in cats and allows them a very good movement later on in life. Here we go. Surgery started. Obviously, in such a small kitten, access is very limited and you have to work very precise and very slow. Unfortunately, I had to find out that this fracture was pretty old. I would estimate about 3 weeks old, and that had caused the bones to already kind of heal together in the wrong position. I had to free all of those scar tissue formations up and dig through all the scar tissue in order to find that hip joint. A little bit harder than I had hoped for, but with a little bit of patience I managed to get through all of it and found the hip joint quite easily. So yeah, it's really hard to see anything for me because it's such a small cat. Alright, so here I can see the femoral head, which is already completely damaged. I separated the femoral head from the femur itself. That's the femoral head, that's what we're after. Good. And it has most of the neck here, which is the important part. Yeah, that feels perfect there. So I can feel where the head came off the leg. The leg is here. And that feels nice and smooth. All right. Antibiotics. And 3-0. Initially, it's going to be a lot more painful. But in about 3 weeks, you should be able to walk quite normal again and have a pain-free life. Good. Hopefully they'll find a home for it because I don't think this cat has an owner as such. Pretty sure it's a rescue case. hopefully it doesn't end up on the street again, because that always really frustrates me, putting in all the effort to then just have the cat end up on the street again. And here you can see the x-rays after surgery. You can clearly see that the ball has been removed and that now the top of the femur is nicely disconnected from the pelvis and forms a smooth surface that can make a new joint with the muscle. So now the bone is just going to be supported by just muscles rather than the joint. And thus we really want the muscles to be nice and tight. Are you happy with that, Greta?
It's very nice. And it's a nice cat.
If people do that little bit of extra and really commit to a stray cat. So here we're allowed to castrate it as well, allowed to microchip it as well. It really is a pretty cat though.
Yeah,
the markings are amazing. Big smile. Alright, surgery is done. We're slowly waking up. Hey, we're definitely gonna be a bit sore. Hey, are you waking up slowly? No, today's gonna be a rough day, yeah? Did you just wake up? That's a big cone. Hi guys, and welcome to my climbing gym. This is where you can find me most evenings as I do indoor bouldering, usually at least 3 times a week, because I absolutely love this sport. For those not familiar with the concept, it's an indoor climbing sport without the use of any ropes or other protection, except for a really big soft mat that you can jump down to. Here you can see me coming down and making a somewhat soft landing. The wall is probably about 4 or 5 meters high max, so the falls can be quite scary, especially in the beginning when you're not used to, but as you get more comfortable with the sport, you get used to climbing down safely and not injuring yourself, and I would consider it a rather safe activity. The goal here is to reach the top using only one color, one specific color, so you're not allowed to use any of the other colors. Here you can see me trying the orange route, and that means I'm only allowed to use the orange holds. Those blue holds look very, very tempting, but they are not in. One of the things I like the most about bouldering is its accessibility. Anybody can do it. It doesn't matter whether you are a man, a woman, if you're tall, if you're small, if you're a little bit weaker or you're super strong, there's always a boulder that will fit you. There is a level for everybody. And the fact that bouldering has become so accessible within the UAE. You can do it all year long, even if it's 45 degrees outside. And I am sure there will be a bouldering gym just around the corner from you, as bouldering gyms have started to become more and more popular, and there is now 4 or 5 places just in Dubai where you can go climbing. So do a little research, find a gym nearby and go and give it a try. You will be amazed. Alright guys, I hope you enjoyed that, and I hope you enjoyed the climbing as well. The kitten has gone home and seems to be doing well. We're waiting for it to come back for its stitches removal in 10 days, and hopefully I'll be able to give you guys an update on that. In the meantime, I got to see Canella from last week's video, and she is doing amazing. We will do a update video on her progress, hopefully in another 2 weeks, when I'll have the chance to make some new x-rays and see the progress on that. But so far, the leg is healing amazing. Alright, that's a wrap for this episode. I want to thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and see you next week.